Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video, we're going to take a look at the Ultra League. We're going to have some test battles here before the Ultra League going to start, as the meta looks kinda interesting. A lot of things changed, and the one major change is going to be the new number one, the new king of the Ultra League, which is going to be the Bellibolt. And today we're going to take a look on if this Pokemon is actually that good or not. Of course it's going to be good, like there is no doubt it's not going to be good, because alone the stats for this Pokemon look ridiculous, and now with the Parabolic Charge buff, this Pokemon is going to be very, very strong, and trust me, the meta is going to shift quite a bit, especially towards Pokemon that can counter this specific Pokemon just because it's so strong. But anyway, we're going to have a very, very good team here as well that I enjoyed quite a bit. And we also see a lot of cool buffed Pokemon on my opponent's parts here. They didn't know what I was running. I didn't know what they were running. So like it's kind of a fair deal here as well. Yeah, we're going to have here a lot of very interesting games. I enjoy this team a lot. We can talk a little bit about why this team specifically. But as you see here in the first battle, we have a great matchup already with Bellibolt. We have 2 shields against 0 from the opponent. Of course, we're going to no shield to troll a little bit because I know this game is over already. We go for the Zap Cannon, which is completely unnecessary, as a Parabolic Charge will have knocked them out as well. But we have to show some dominance in friendly battles, of course. Yeah, the opponent kind of got hardwalled this entire first battle, so like there was nothing that you really could have done. But funnily enough, we're still going to be able to win here without using a single shield and just memeing a little bit at the end there, just because we hardwalled the opponent so hard here. Next up though, we can have the Blasters against us. That is going to be a very positive lead for us. We have a bit of lag, just kind of on both sides. We're going to have the Primeape coming in next, and we're going to stay in here with our Virizion, which can go for the Leaf Blade. And now we can swap out into the Skeledirge, as I know that I still survive at least one Rage Fist, and as they allow me to get a free Incinerate through, this should knock them out in time, which is going to make it way easier for us, as we can now have the Blastoise against our Skeledirge, while we still have energy, and we still have our Virizion to counter this Pokemon later on. Should went for Torch Tongue here for sure. Torch Tongue would have put them into farmland range for our Virizion, so mistakes been made there. But generally, we're in a very good spot. They have Machamp in the back, and they try to counter the Bellibolt here as well with 2 Fighting-type Pokemon, which can resist the Sucker Punch of it. So, like, this is going to be something that you're going to see quite often. You're going to see more Fighting-type Pokemon, mainly because they resist the Sucker Punch. You're going to see more Ground-type Pokemon, and you're going to see more Dragon-type Pokemon in the upcoming meta. Those are going to be definitely more common. So also, Fairy-type Pokemon most likely going to be very solid, as they're going to be able to beat both Fighting as well as Dragon. Yeah. That's going to be an interesting meta coming up. I'm curious on how it's actually going to be then there. But as we will see here in this battle as well, we're going to have Bellibolt now in the back still. The opponent's counters to Bellibolt are gone. And now it's Bellibolt against Blastoise. And yeah, that's going to be a very good game here. We're actually going to see here how much damage without a boost Hydro Cannon is going to do. Not going to 2-shot us. With a boost, it's not even going to 3-shot us if we get the boost early. So yeah, this shows also kind of the bulk already, even the natural bulk of Bellibolt. So, why this team? We're going to have the lead of Virizion being weak to Fairy-type Pokemon, which can be a bit problematic with this team, I guess. I would most likely say swap the Bellibolt if I encounter a Fairy-type Pokemon, because then you still have an answer in the back. But you are going to be great against Bellibolt. Virizion resists every single hit from the Bellibolt, so if you're going to encounter a Bellibolt in the lead, which you will be able to do for sure eventually, you're going to be able to, yeah, completely hardwall this Pokemon in terms of the damage that they can do. So we are going to be alright there. Here, okay, we got kind of lucky that we were able to swap out into the Skeledirge against the Cobalion. But yeah, we have our say-swap of Skeledirge usually. Skeledirge is a Pokemon that can bait out other Ground-type Pokemon, which Virizion can beat, but you still do some solid damage with your charge moves usually, as most Pokemon cannot really take a Shadow Ball from this Pokemon that easily, or if they take it, they're kind of on the risk of getting farmed out by Incinerate afterwards. But also, I enjoy Skeledirge a ton in the Ultra League because you have access to Torch Song nowadays, which is just a better Flame Charge, which is allowing you to sweep entire teams, which we might be seeing here in exactly this battle, where we already got, I think, 2 KOs, and now we're going to have the Weezing against us, and we're just going to claim the 3rd KO here without even showcasing the Pokemon that we want to showcase, the Bellibolt, just because our lead and our say-swap here, our Skeledirge, is so overpowered. It's mad. But yeah, good game to the opponent. We can move on to the next one. Virizion against Virizion. This makes a lot of sense, but they're gonna swap on to the Drapion, and I'm kinda happy about that. What I'm not happy about is on how I play this matchup. I could definitely play this one a little bit better. Let me tell you where I messed up. Yeah, I'm going to use the shield on the first one. In the Ultra League, it's quite common to see Sludge Bomb on the Drapion. In this case, they don't have it. And everything is totally fine at this point. But then I kind of get a bit too greedy for the shield in order to go straight for the Sacred Sword. This is going to allow the opponent to get that free fast move in. This one free fast move, funnily enough, is going to be something that's going to matter here in the matchup. As Crunch is coming through here, that's fine. I'm going to shield up the next move here. That's fine as well. It's going to be the awkward tail, and as you're going to see here though, I'm not going to be able to get to my last move here, which is really unfortunate, because like this, yeah, the opponent's going to be able to knock us out in time. And yeah, I do think that if I went for the fast move instead of going for the charge move there, and they went for optimal timing, I most likely would have been able to realign myself. But like this, I'm going to be in a bit of a tough spot. But I'm going to overfarm here on my, on my Bellibolt, and I will be able to catch the move onto my Skeldritch and get a free fast move in. And this allows me to get now a Shadow Ball off against the opponent's Drifblim, which is going to be just enough to put them into range where I can farm them down with the Incinerate. And with that, we're going to be able to win the battle here, which is ridiculous. Again, Skeldritch kind of taking that game here. Like, Skeldritch is such a good Pokemon in the current Ultra League meta. Next opponent, we're going to have a Zapdos in the lead. That is going to be very tough for us to deal with. What we have to do is we have to stop out of here, and then we're going to get hard-rolled by the opponent's Feraligatr. But this showcases again on the power of Skeldritch. Skeldritch can actually realign here, and I will take everything basically to try to realign myself. Even if I go shields down, I'm fine with that. I want to have the realignment because I rather have the flying and electric type against my own electric type, which resists both type of hits that the opponent can have, instead of my grass and fighting type, which gets a one shot, of course, from any kind of flying type move. And so, yeah, we're going to be able to align ourselves. They're going to be able to knock me out here, but I'm not really caring that much about that one because I have now my Skeldritch, my Bellibolt against the opponent's Zapdos. And they're going to swap out trying to catch the move. It's going to be the Grumpig, allows me to get a ton of energy in here first and then swap out to get your charge move. Because if you think about it, here against the Virizion, the fast moves are going to do super effective damage, while it's just going to be neutral against our other Pokemon. Also, Sucker Punch is going to allow us to put them into range for 2 Leaf Blades to nearly knock them out. And they're going to be forced to go for their own charge move here, which now allows me to just go straight for the Parabolic Charge, which boosts my defense straight away here. And I will be able to win this battle. Like, there's nothing that your opponent can do here anymore. Even though we kind of got walled in the lead and had a bit of a tough time, thanks to us getting a Shadow Ball off against the opponent's Feraligatr, we were able to realign ourselves and win with Bellibolt and knocking out the opponent's Zapdos there. And here is Bellibolt in the lead, and this is the exact reason why we're going to have Virizion. Let's hop out into the Lapras, which is a great matchup still for us, but I'm kind of getting a bit, I don't know, not worried, but I don't really know what to do here right now. Should I stay in? Should I go? I don't know. They have access to Ice Beam. They're going to be able to get to the move a little bit slower than I do, but I don't know if it's worth it to stay in for that long. I should be able to get 2 shields from the opponent though if I want to, and I should be able to also realign myself, so I don't know. I should most stay in for another charge move first. But I swapped into my Bellibolt, and I let the move go. Bit risky. They're going to go into their own Bellibolt, and I was like, yeah, I can go for a Parabolic Charge. Allows me to survive the hits a little bit easier. And as you will see, it actually does still some sort of damage, even though it is going to be a resisted hit. And I was hoping here, for whatever reason, that I can go for a Zap Cannon. I just want to try to troll and go for a Zap Cannon, thinking that I still survive the next hit. I lose the CMP tie, and I think I'm barely gonna get knocked out by that Parabolic Charge, which of course sets me back quite a bit. If I just went for Parabolic Charge there straight away, I would be able to actually get 2 of them off most likely, because I would of course take less damage from them. But they're going to have Gliscor in the back, and honestly, this is looking really, really bad for us. I don't really see on how we're gonna be able to win this battle. I'm gonna have to use a shield here, and it's luckily going to be the Earthquake, but they're going to generate energy so insanely fast that I think they're going to be able to outspeed me. And so, Torchonk is coming through. They're going to let the move go, and weirdly enough, I still get to my own move, but also they're going to be in a tough spot because I'm at +2 attack. They let the move go, which I, by the way, highly disagree with. I think they needed to use a shield there and try to go for an Earthquake in order to have a chance of winning this battle. But yeah, as we'll see here, the Parabolic Charge is not knocking us out there at all. We can swap out, making it a safe play here to go for the Leaf Blade, win the battle, and that's going to be a good game. I think they kind of misplayed a little bit with the Gliscor there, but again, I don't know if they actually would have mattered either. Next opponent, we're going to have Fortress in the lead, and that is going to be a neutral lead matchup because your fast moves are going to be neutral. The opponent's fast moves are neutral, but we're kind of getting walled here. But I'm happy that I get out the Swampert because, again, I don't want to have this Pokemon against my Bellibolt. And I'm going to get the shield advantage here, which is fine. If they no shielded, I would have been able to get switch advantage. Like this, I get shield advantage. Both totally okay. And now I can go for a Leaf Blade on my Virizion, and I will be able to knock out the opponent's Swampert straight away. So, like, not too bad. Like, I kind of get walled here so far. But, like, it's not too bad. Fortress is coming through here. I can go for the Sacred Sword to weaken them a little bit. And I know that their charge moves should be all resisted. Like, they have Earthquake and they have very likely the Rock Tomb. And so, I'm going to be able to let the move go. That's going to be the Rock Tomb. I'm going to swap out of here to my Bellibolt, and they swap out into their Kommo-o. And while you might think that's kind of sus that they have a Kommo-o there, I already talked about it in my video where I talked about like the top Pokemon to build, that Pokemon like Kommo-o are going to be on the rise for the upcoming Ultra League season because it is going to be a hard wall to the Bellibolt. All moves are going to be resisted from the Bellibolt, and Kommo-o and Kommo-o, like yeah, Kommo-o of course in the Ultra League, Kommo-o in the Great League, have some potential against Pokemon. In the Great League, though, the issue is here actually nicely done with the close combat. In the Great League, though, you have the issue with the Kommo-o that Dedenne is the more popular parabolic charge user. Here, of course, Dedenne doesn't really have to play in the Open Ultra League. To be fair, I should most likely build an XL Dedenne just to try it out, because I do think it still most likely would work out. But, yeah. It is what it is. Here we're going to see that they still get to the Rock Tomb, and they got to the Rock Tombs here a bit faster than I expected. I think if I went straight for my charge moves instead of over-farming that much, I would have been fine here actually in the matchup as well, and still would have had a chance of winning this. But good game to the opponent there. Well played. Nice anti-mana team there from the opponent. We're going to have here next up Feraligatr against us in the lead. This is going to be a matchup again. We're going to have a great lead with our Pokemon, but they're going to stop out into Giratina, and this is going to be a fun matchup because you might think, that's going to be a tough matchup. They're going to have here, of course, the resistance to Electric, so it's going to be so tough. But no, we're going to be able to boost our own defense, and we do super effective fast move pressure, and this is why Giratina is not an ideal Dragon type Pokemon in the current meta, and why Gastrodon as well as Kommo-o is going to be the better pick if you want to run a Dragon type, because weirdly enough, like, this is not going to work out at all. So they're not going to be able to realign against us. We're going to be able to realign against them, and we're going to end up with a bit of energy as well, because look at this, I don't even have to use a shield here. I don't really care too much about that. Dragon Claw not going to knock us out, and we still should be able to reach another move because of the bulk that we were able to gather, and they're going to have Gastrodon in the back. So they have a double Dragon line. I guess that makes a little bit more sense, but as we will see, we're going to be able to align our Skeledirge, because they have, of course, still that water type there. So I don't really care about Skeledirge. Skeledirge is just here to take some energy. Now I can swap out. I have the Leaf Blade stored for the Feraligatr. And with that, we're going to be able to win the battle here quite easily. We can just go for double shield here. Like, they don't really have anything. And if they have Crunch, I assume they're going to have Dragon Claw instead of Sludge Bomb on their Gastrodon as well. Which means we are in a very, very good position here, as we are not really threatened by any KO from the Gastrodon either. So yeah, this is going to be very interesting here. We're going to be able to go ahead and get the KO. We're going to have the Gastrodon coming in, and this is going to allow us to get some nice damage against the opponent already, and we're going to get them lower. We have the CMP tie now. As said before, I don't expect a Sludge Bomb here, as they already revealed that they have Crunch. If you have Brutal Swing, Sludge Bomb makes sense. If they have Crunch, it only makes sense to have Dragon Claw. You always kind of want to have a 35 energy move on this Pokemon. As you will see here, actually Skeledirge is going to be the Pokemon that wins us this battle, and we can move on to the final one for today. I want to try to release the video as well today for the Ultra League still. Hopefully I'm going to be able to do that. But yeah, let me know also, what kind of cup are you going to play for the upcoming week? Is it going to be the Ultra League, or is it going to be the Special Cup, the Fossil Cup? Fossil Cup video already out. Going to be linked in the end card anyway, so definitely check that video out as well. Here we're going to see the matchup against Golisopod again. You actually win the lead matchup against Golisopod if you play it correctly with your Virizion. So like, it's not going to be a difficult one for you at all. Unless they're running every days, of course, but most people don't do that anymore. But as you're going to see, you're going to be able to outspeed them, which is kind of cool, as you need 9 turns for your charge moves and the opponent needs 10 turns. So, Typhlosion comes in. That's going to be a bit of a tough one. We're going to be able to go into our Bellibolt, and I am going to use a shield here, hoping it's going to be the harder hitting move, the, what's called the Blast Burn, exactly. And it is going to be the Blast Burn. I can boost my own defense up, which is going to be kind of great, and as we will see, this is going to be getting a shield from the opponent. They still have another Blast Burn, so I'm going to use another shield and just hope that they're not going to have an answer against Bellibolt in the back. They're going to have their own Trevenant, and I feel like I just misplay this battle a little bit. I could have maybe stopped out straight away. But instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a Shadow Ball here, which in this case is kind of okay still. But as you'll see here, we are kind of getting low on health, and I should have swapped out like one fast move later to catch Seed Bomb, but they're gonna go for the Shadow Ball still, which now allows them to farm me down in time, which they should have not been able to do otherwise. And yeah, it's kind of a mess. I don't think that this really... maybe it was kind of difficult to win anyway. But yeah, well played from the opponent. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you also have a great time in the Go Battle League, and I will see you then. Bye bye.